Well, that escalated quickly. 34-14 turns into a really close game between USC and Cal. We'll talk about all of it after we break down Tahj Washington here on the Student Body Right USC podcast.
Welcome to the Put On Waivers Media Group, home of the Put On Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Student Body Right USC podcast, Dwayne Douglas here. Let's do a little breakdown of Tahj Washington, number 16, wide receiver. USC does a lot of good things for the Trojans here. You're going to see right here against the Utes. Look at this block here, a little cut block here to get Travis Dye into the end zone. Takes out the crashing DN. Just sacrifices that body, makes that play, and then Travis Dye puts his foot in the ground and then just runs right into the end zone for a touchdown. Same formation, they give it to Tahj Washington again. Boom. On the outside, and gets a nice little 11-yard gain. You see it again here. Nice little swing to Washington. Nice play there. Keeps the chains moving for the Trojans. Now Tahj Washington gets behind the defense. Recognize the zone, just keeps going, running that route, run a little over route there, and gets wide open. And Caleb Williams gets pounded on the play, but throws a strike to Tahj Washington for a touchdown. You see Williams just gets destroyed there, but still eyes down the field and makes the play. To Washington, open field. You got to make that play as a wide receiver. You sniff in the end zone. You got to find a way to score, and he does. Now, this is a nice one here because you go up top now, over the top of the defense. You saw him in the backfield. You saw him against zone. Now you see him against man. Goes down the field for a touchdown. For a big play, chunk play from Caleb Williams, who puts the ball just on a string between the 1 and the 6. You got to love that. Good throw. Good finish. Almost takes it to the house, Tahj Washington. For more breakdowns, please continue to watch the Student Body Right USC podcast. Subscribe. Back on the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, podcasting off the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful night out here in Southern California. USC beats Cal in, the only way they can do it now, because it seems like the defense has just been, there's no way, no ifs, ands, or buts around it. They've been pretty bad. I think also in this ball game, special teams was an issue for them again. The snaps weren't good. They actually lost a snap went over the holder's head, went back like 30-40 yards. So they had an issue there. Nick Figueroa actually blocked the extra point by Cal in this ball game. So you had something there. They also USC also gave up a onside kick. It was an obvious onside kick. They did not recover the onside kick, and that kind of led the Cal comeback, if you will. The band didn't come on the field or anything like that, but USC wins this game 41-35 through the just utter brilliance of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams balled out again today, 4 touchdowns. Travis Dye came through again with 15 carries for 99 yards. It'd have been nice if USC could have just kind of chilled in this ball game and not had to pull all the horses out late in this game to try to win this one late. But this 34-14 late in this ball game is just tough, man. I mean, this I don't the one thing I don't understand about the Alex Grinch style of defense or what's going on is a couple of things. You can't blitz from as much depth as he's blitzing from and expect to get pressure. That's an issue with this team. And to me, just find something, especially when you have a two score, three score lead, just find something consistent. You're going to play too high, go play too high. You want to play cover two. Just find something consistent that they can all just kind of hang their hat on, so they can just keep plays in front of them. So they're not getting, giving up first down after first down after first down. I mean, you just can't keep doing it. I mean, they had some batted balls here, left and right, where they could have possibly picked some balls off. Caleb Bullock had a great interception at the end of the half to help USC win the middle eight. They're able to do that in that game, but they just weren't able to kind of just put everything where it should be. It should have been a easy, like, just you know I gotta change the background, right? Wrong show. It should have been an easy game at 34-14. You had Tennessee lose earlier today. You had Alabama lose today. You had Clemson basically get shut out against Notre Dame. Maybe that Notre Dame game, that Notre Dame, that outcome might help. No, it might help USC, because if USC plays Notre Dame later on, last game of the year is at the Coliseum. They play Notre Dame. It's going to be, and Notre Dame is ranked with their independent self. If they're going to be ranked, then that's a cool thing if they're ranked. And then after, when you play them, that helps USC's bid for a possible playoff here. But they had an opportunity to move up in the ranks. I think TCU will move up in the playoff ranks for sure. Georgia will move up in the playoff ranking for the college football playoff. But USC, I mean, they really could have just maybe impressed the committees a little bit more. So if they were able to win this ball game by a more decided fashion, you see Michigan wins their game 52-17 against Rutgers. So that's something to really kind of look at for the future. I just say in a couple of weeks when they play UCLA, I mean, I just feel like that game's going to be in the 50s. I mean, it's just going to be that Rose Bowl game. It's going to be a track meet. It's going to be in the 50s. Basically, going to be whoever has the ball last, because I don't see how anybody's stopping anybody in that game. I mean, just DRT, what his skill set looks like a skill set that would pretty much destroy what USC can do defensively, unless they can somehow, some way find something to kind of hold their hat on defensively, because they just, besides the turnovers and that pressure that sometimes that Thule and Nick Figueroa get, and Solomon Bird, it's just not a good look defensively for them. And they really almost blew this game here for the Trojans going forward, trying to make a bid here for a national championship, possibly, or a Pac-12 championship. Um, as they go down the road. On the defense, gave up a bunch of big plays and some big runs, pass plays on the first drive. But then they kind of settled down. They settled down and, didn't really give up anything after that for a long period of time. So, and then USC took advantage of that. Caleb Williams making passes left and right, went a little sidearm action like Patrick Mahomes for a touchdown on Michael Jackson, then threw another touchdown on Michael Jackson on a wide receiver screen. Great blocking downfield on that play as well. So good job by Michael Jackson. And again, we saw it's kind of, you look at the beginning of our show, we had a quick breakdown of Tahj Washington. We like Tahj Washington. He did have one drop in this game. The Trojans third down percentage kind of took a little bit of a hit today because they had some drops. But Tahj Washington again went over 100 yards in this ball game, played very well. Kind of being that main guy without Mario Williams and Jordan Addison out of this ball game. Really quick, just looking at the stats real quick. Michael Jackson was 5 catches, 115 yards. I think he had 5 catches just going into this game, something like that. And then you have Tahj Washington, 7 catches, 112 yards, 16 yards average there, and then a touchdown as well. Like McCree got a touchdown, got a tug in there for the tight end. We always like those tight ends. Bynum had 6 catches for 60 yards. Travis Dye had some nice catches today. 3 catches for 25 yards. And then Kyle Ford, who had a big game last week, not so much this week, but he had 1 catch for 16 yards. But the biggest thing that's going to be the biggest eyesore for SC fans, the biggest thing that's going to really bother people is I look at Jake Plummer, the quarterback of Cal, and he was 35 of 49 for 406, 3 touchdowns, and one interception. So like that's just not something that you're gonna write home about. It's not something that you're gonna be happy about hearing about in that defensive room. And I just don't know what they just don't seem connected defensively. It just seems like people just, especially with that, just people just roaming. They don't have a distinct thing that they like to do on third down. You can't just rush for in today's game. You can't just rush for it's not going to work. But so you have to do things defensively to really get these talented quarterbacks off the mark, so they throw the football either errant or away, or just so you can get this offense back on the field, because offense is a tremendous unit. No Mario Williams, no Jordan Addison, and they're scoring almost 50 points in the last 2 weeks. Like this is a really talented offense. Just run by Caleb Williams, run by Travis Dye. Those two have been just been the MVPs of this offensive unit. And I think what they're trying to do is just hope. I think USC is just going to be trying to be as hopeful as possible. They know the USC game, the UCLA game is right around the corner. The Rose Bowl. I mean, if they don't sell tickets for the Rose Bowl for that one, they should just maybe cancel UCLA football as far as that goes. I mean, that game's gonna be nuts. Battle of LA. You're gonna hear about it all week. It's a fun game to watch, because if you like points and you like really good quarterback play, you like the Jake Bobos of the world, you like the Mario Williams and the Jordan Addisons of the world. I mean, some really talented receivers in this game, really talented quarterbacks who at some point will be playing on Sundays in the National Football League. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun game to watch, and it's gonna be back and forth. Your heart's gonna be racing. Probably gonna be very similar to the Utah game as far as that goes, because this defensively, I don't know how they're gonna handle that speed of UCLA. And I hate to jump past Colorado, but they're Colorado. Rashad Salam isn't coming through that door. People like that aren't coming through that door to help save that team. So you felt good, 34-14. Your chest was out a little bit. We're gonna move up in the rankings, and then the defense kind of crashed in and didn't get it done. And I think the defense and special teams. I was thinking about this one thing about USC today is they're fighting their defense, right? They're fighting what their defense is. Defense is not a big time defensive unit, but they're fighting the defense, right? The hardest thing to do is you can't fight the defense and fight special teams. I mean, you can't. I mean, and one thing about Lincoln Riley, he's talked about it. Coaches are usually a little stubborn in this, but you see a lot of teams that have special team coaches. One of the best special team coaches in college football is the guy at Notre Dame. Really, really talented special teams coach. He talks about openly how he's just not gonna get a special teams coach. I hope that doesn't lead to a special teams team, situation where he loses a chance to win a national championship. Hope he doesn't lose a chance to play for a national championship because of special teams play. And you just cannot have that kind of special teams play. I mean, in an obvious situation where it's um a onside kick, you have to come through with that recovery. You got to recover that. Get the ball at the 50-yard line, run die, run do whatever you got to do. Get the ball to Michael Jackson, give the ball to Tahj Washington, and go win the game. That's the biggest thing. So you gotta make it happen. Better defensively. I don't know what I understand the move. He likes to move the defensive line. I understand what he wants. I understand the things he likes to do defensively, but I don't understand what why people are just so wide open and the communication is so bad. Like I just don't get it. That's the one thing I don't get. Talent is one thing, but you can play connected where like if they're making catches like they were against Arizona, you can live with those plays. One-handed catches, you're getting pressure on the quarterback, one-handed plays, you know, diving in the back of the end zone. The catches they were making against the Wildcats were making against the Trojans last week. I can understand. I can understand, but you can't allow that to keep this team down. You have to find a way to become a better defensive team. And I just think on that first drive, just the tackling. God, just the tackling. Ott was just spinning and spinning and spinning, and nobody was bringing him down. Like you gotta execute much better than that. I thought the tackling was supposed to get better after the bye. That's something that you gotta keep an eye on with SC here, where they just gotta tackle better. I mean, you have to tackle better. It's not really something that is like that's something we can just keep going. I mean, you gotta tackle better. I mean, it's just the base. It's basics, and you're paying a 3-5 football team. And I know they almost beat Notre Dame. And I know they, did some things here and there, but it's Cal, it's Berkeley, and it's no reason that this game should be as close as it was. I mean, that's really not good football defensively by Alex Grinch. Takeaways are nice, but you got to get stops in those situations. You cannot let teams just continuously score and score and score against your team as well. I want to give one positive thing for the defense here would be, I mean, sorry, for the special teams here would be Michael Jackson. He looks just like a natural punt returner. Like I don't close. Even though he's young, I think he's a younger player. I don't have to close him. I don't have to worry about those plays. I think he catches it naturally, and he obviously is a guy who can make plays on the in the offense after the catch. Like he was really good after the catch in this ball game. Ryan Holmes, who went to the game today and talked about. I mean, he texted me during the game. He said, obviously the speed is a factor. Like the lack of speed on the outside is a factor when you don't have Mario Williams and you don't have Addison. So those two, they got to play the last 2 games of the year. If USC is gonna, win the last 2 games of the year, which is gonna be tough because it's gonna be at UCLA, and then you're playing Notre Dame, who looks to be improved. I mean, I gotta give Notre Dame credit; they look to be improved. They went from losing to some of one of the worst teams in college football to being an improved team who knocked out Clemson from the college football playoff. They're done. The Tigers are done. Dabo Sweeney he's done. You can forget about him now. It's over. But in college football, you survive and advance. I got to give him credit for surviving. I got to give USC credit for surviving in advance. Now, you play in Colorado. Everybody's blown out Colorado. Everybody's destroyed Colorado. They need a game where Caleb Williams doesn't have to be a hero in the fourth quarter against a bad football team. Like that needs to, can I see the backup quarterback in the fourth quarter against Colorado? I mean, they really have to kind of end Colorado's dream of upset early next week because this wasn't it. I mean, 34-14, yes, win the game. Um, they look like they were going to win the game going away. They don't win the game. They don't win the game going away, and it looks kind of messy at the end there for the USC Trojans. But they do win. They do find a way to win. I thought Thule played well, got some sacks in this ball game, and did a good job. Um, Nick Figueroa made some plays in the backfield. I think after that first drive, they really kind of stuffed the run, and that's what made it even more frustrating because they stuffed the run but then didn't take care of the pass. Like, they put this team in, they were down by 3 scores. They're in obvious, pass situations. And that has to be, I mean, that's you. I mean, you got to find a way to close that out, cousin. Like you cannot allow, um, teams to just move the football down the field all the time. Like I said, if you got to play one or two defenses just to be solid in something. So you're just not giving up just these gashing plays all the time. Like it's just like, it's third and seven, and then people are just wide open. You can't have people just wide open with no contested catch at all. I mean, that's just bad football. I mean, there's no other way about around it. It's bad football. And Alice Grinch gotta do his thing. Gotta do his thing a little bit better than that because the head coach can score points. You gotta find a way to just hold, at least hang your hat on being like a red zone defense. Like, okay, we give up big plays, but when we get to the red zone, we don't give up anything. Like that's something you can hang your hat on. There's a lot of good defenses in NFL and college football that are bend don't break. You can't just be break. You get no problems for being a break defense, right? You can't do that. So win 41-35. USC kind of goes on a run here, wins that ball game. And just give a lot of, I mean, get 21 points in the fourth quarter, a lot of possessions. You just got to find a way. 8-1. Listen, they won 4 games last year. This is obviously, I mean, I thought they'd have a season like this because I thought Caleb Williams was going to have was just going to be a monster um, for this team. I thought that him playing some last year and now coming into his own this year, he's just every game he gets better and better and better. They overcame the Oregon State game, which was probably his one big dud of the entire season, with that big play to Jordan Addison at the end to win that game. But he's overcome a lot as far as just in that game, and then now he's just an excellent player in every facet of the game. Just making plays with his feet, making plays with his arms, and you heard um, in the game, a quarterback elevates his players to a higher level. You can see it on Michael in this game where Michael Jackson, had a route that was shut down. He came back to his quarterback and made a great diving catch to keep a drive alive. Like just how much confidence do those guys get by having Caleb Williams give him the football in critical situations? That's fun. If you are a Trojan receiver, like you're gonna block. You're gonna do whatever they ask you to do because you're getting the football, and you performed when the top guys like Mario Williams, like Jordan Addison weren't there. So good job as far as that goes. I gotta give an A+ college kids. So you gotta give an A+ to that offense, A+ to the running game. But I just can't. I just the defensive side of the football. I just think you gotta kind of break this thing down to be a little bit more simpler on defense. And I know that's not like a thing you want to hear, but you know, I like when they get to the line and they have a bunch of people on the line of scrimmage, and then they drop out of it. But then if you drop out of it, like you got to cover the tight end. Like you just leave the tight end wide open. The Notre Dame tight end is they call Baby Gronk for a reason. Like the guy is a monster. You can't give up um a, a Kincaid game to him. Still a work in progress. Still not playing good football defensively. And the turnovers, yes, the turnovers have definitely slowed down. And they're gonna slow down. I think Thule, one thing he can learn how to do is as good as he is, it'd be good to see him start getting some strip sacks now. I mean, he can get to the quarterback. He has plenty of sacks, but he needs to get some strip sacks now. And this they gotta get some. They gotta start getting some fumbles, getting some. You gotta get some stops. Like if you're gonna be, you gotta be known for something. You can't be a break defense. You gotta be a bend don't break, if you will. Try to be better in the red zone if you're gonna give up these big plays, because it's just some gashing plays. I mean, they just giving up some huge, ridiculously gashing plays. Not a good game defensively for USC. And you never want to see a game where you let people back in it. You want to see that killer instinct and then be able to just go ahead and finish the game the right way. And hopefully they can do that next week against Colorado. We'll take a look at some film, take a look at some things. Rewatch. I got a chance to rewatch some games this week, and then next time on the Student Body Right USC podcast, we'll kind of break down what worked, what didn't work, where they can improve defensively. I think part of it is, from what I see just from the broadcast, was if you're gonna blitz, you can't blitz from too much depth, because that ball is coming. That ball is gonna be out by that time you get there. And if you're going to crowd the line of scrimmage and then drop back out of it, drop out of it, like double A gap blitz, like the Vikings used to do, and the Bengals used to do under Mike Zimmer, then you gotta find the hot receivers. You gotta find the tight ends who are guys who, if it's 3rd and 4, I mean, he doesn't need to go far for that first down, right? So you gotta find a way to get a little better there as far as that goes. It's the Showbiz and AG used to be an old rap group. Now it's and now that's basically what you got there. The offense is Showbiz. AG has to come through with his side of it, because the defense is not. I'm tried to kind of play along for a little bit and see if they would get a little better, but it looked like it's getting worse. It's getting worse. And Raider fans had the nerve to get mad about their defense and complain about their defensive unit. It's not nearly as bad as what USC's been putting on the field the last couple of weeks. All right. All right, Trojan fans, we're gonna see you during the week. Kind of break things down for you. See if we can get some. We'll look at some Pac-12 games. I mean, listen, the Pac-12 is going to be down to the wire here. That couple of weeks, you got Utah, you got Oregon, you got all these teams. UCLA, UCLA playing USC. That game is going to be crazy. So a lot of really good football coming up, and now that we're in the college football playoff time, every game you can see everybody getting a little tight. Everybody getting a little tight in these games now, right? So we'll see how everything goes in college football. All right, Student Body Right, USC podcast. As always, Trojan fans, continue to fight on.